Hi guys, and welcome back to ADSR Pro with me, Mike Smith. We're going to be looking at a little comparison now between Spectrasonics Omnisphere 2 and Steinberg Retrologue 2. This was suggested to me by David V. Allen, one of our members in the Cubase Pro group just over the pond in the United States. And basically it was suggested that we maybe run these two side by side to kind of see which is the best. And for me, to be honest, Omnisphere's obviously had a lot more man hours and there is a lot more options and possibilities within Omnisphere. However, that doesn't mean that, you know, it would necessarily win. We're going to try and keep it as fair as possible. We'll just keep it simple to start with and you can make your own mind up. So I've got a Retrologue and an Omnisphere, and I've basically just got a saw waveform. So here's Retrologue and here's Omnisphere. That's pretty much as close as I can get it from the standard waveforms. Obviously, it is, you know, a slightly different sounding waveform, but only ever so slight. So let's keep it as fair as possible. So I think what we'll do, we'll change it to a multi and we'll put a bit of detune on just to make it a bit thicker. And in this case, we'll put sort of 3. Let's listen to Retrologue. And we'll go over to Omnisphere and do the same. So Unison, let's turn it on. The detune seems a little bit faster on Retrologue. That's better. So that's kind of similar still. Okay. So let's go back to Retrologue and I'll just move that one out of the way for now. So let's sculpt our envelope. So I'm going to bring the attack down to 0, put the decay to about halfway, in which case sort of just over. Let's have a look. Can we slow that down? Yeah. Okay, just to about 1 millisecond or a second. Bring sustain down. Let's go to 25% and release. I'll just turn up to about 105. Okay, so let's do the same with Omnisphere. I'm just going to move that one out of the way. So decay we set to 1 second. Sustain, I'll just move this so you can see. Sustain we did to sort of 25%. Okay, so about that. There we go. And release we did to 105 milliseconds. So still very, very similar. And now let's move that out of the way and we'll go to Retrologue again. We're going to put a low pass 12 because I don't believe Omnisphere has a low pass 18, but we'll check that out in a minute. So again, I'm going to bring attack down to 0. Just put decay about there. Sustain 19%. In fact, let's put that to 20 if we can. 20. There you go, 1 millisecond. Let's just leave that. And envelope wise, let's put that to about 70%. Okay. So again, let's turn the filter on and we'll use the basic 12 dB low pass, and we need to go to filter envelope, and again attack to 0. We've got decay to second. So that's there. Sustain 20%. 20%, and release at 0. There you go. So they still sound really, really close. Okay, so let's leave that as is, and let's maybe try put in a second oscillator in, and let's go for a square, and let's put that to 50%. Just going to bring oscillator 1 down, and again let's go to multi. Let's put a few voices on it. Now I'm going to turn that oscillator off. In fact, let me put this back to single first, because we need to find a similar sounding square. So let's turn on B, let's turn A off, and let's go to classic, square, and initially I was thinking that let's pitch that down. Let's kind of match volume. Now there's actually a lot more weight in that square, so let's have a listen, see if we can find something else. Want to try and get it as near as we can. Although I must admit the filter and amp envelope will be affecting that on the Retrologue. So let's actually turn the filter on, and I'm just going to go to A, and actually I'm going to copy envelope preset, go to B, and paste envelope preset. Same with the amp, copy. Okay, so that looks about right. And where's our filter? Let's open that one right up. And do the same with this one. Okay, so that should be a lot nearer now. So let's just go back to the start at the top. There seems to be a lot more bottom end in the Omnisphere. I'm just going to sort of use my ears a little bit and just flick through. That's quite near, but like I said, there's just a lot more weight. Definitely the Retrologue is thinner there. got similar characteristics. It's just a bit deeper, a bit thicker. That sounds very, very similar. Again, just a lot more depth to Omnisphere than Retrologue. So I'm actually going to stick with that one, to be fair, I think. So there's already going to be some form of difference here. So again, let's put this back to multi. We've got 3 voices and a detune. Let's put that down to about 10. And let's go into Omnisphere, Unison, turn it on, detune. Similar. So I'm going to put this oscillator back in. Let's come out of there, turn this oscillator back on. Very similar. What I would say is Omnisphere currently just sounds a little bit wider and just a little bit fatter. Retrologue does sound pretty good though, but Omnisphere for me just has the edge at the minute. Now I think it would be unfair to put effects from each, just because obviously Omnisphere has a lot more effects. What might be nice would be I'll put a general effect on in Cubase, maybe like a reverb and a delay, so it'll be exactly the same. So what I'll do is I'm just going to group. Let me bring my mix console over so we can see what's going on. Let's open that up. Let me get rid of that. So I'll just add those to a group, and if so, they're both going to a group now, and let's put a reverb on, and in this case we'll use the Cubase reference. In fact, let me put that on a send. Group effects, add effect. So that'll be better. And let's send to our effect. Let's turn it on. Right, okay, so let me just move that out of the way, and let me open up Reverence, and let's have a hall. Let's try that one. Okay. Okay. There we go. They both sound pretty good. Right, I'm just going to stop it there, and I'm going to just import a MIDI file of some description that we can have on each, rather than me triggering it all the time. Okay, welcome back. So what I've done, I've just got a MIDI arpeggio or arpeggiator file, and I've basically got it going onto the Retrologue and then onto Omnisphere. Let's colour these different colours so we can see which is which. So what's happening is it's playing this little part on Retrologue, then going into Omnisphere. So let's just have a quick listen and let's make our minds up which we prefer. So did you notice a difference? I did, and I would definitely say Omnisphere has it. It's just richer, thicker, warmer, wider. Retrologue's pretty close, but yeah, for me, I would definitely say Omnisphere's got it. So let's just maybe put some modulation on these. All I want to do is maybe like a filter cutoff sort of sweep, and then we can maybe yeah, sort of listen to the filters, how the filters are working. So I'm just going to record enable. And what I need to do first of all is just go up to here, and I need to turn this on. So reveal parameter on right. Turn that down and try that again. So and what I want to do with that is get rid of them points, and we'll take that to there. And I want to do something similar on Omnisphere as well. So I'll just have to link. And let's just get this. Okay, let's just move it out of the way. Let's get rid of those. And again, move that to the bottom. So you can see on this MIDI part, it's starting fully open, and at the second part, it's going to be fully closed. And it's the same on this one. Starts fully open and fully closed by the time it gets to the end. So again, let's just have a listen to that. Not quite sure if that filter fully closed. Yeah, it did. So let's just compare them filters on each one. So that's fully closed. So yeah, no, that sounds about right. Let's try again. Something's not 100% right on that filter, but it should be, in theory, the same because they're linked. So let me just get rid of all this filter cutoff, and let's go back and have a listen. And maybe try and do some other forms of modulation. Right, okay, so Retrologue. Let's maybe... again, I don't want to use the Arpeggiator section. Obviously, matching those up would be pretty difficult to do within, a short period of time. What I may do is actually go away, spend some time matching up the arpeggiators and see the differences with them. But right now, I'm going to use an LFO1 and let's modulate cutoff actually. and I'll sync to tempo. Let's just listen to that first. And let's go to about so let's put that let's go to about 50%. And we'll do the same with Omnisphere. Let's open that up and I go to our modulation sources. So LFO1, filter, cut off. Right, let me quickly just get this. Okay, so LFO there. Let's go to Omnisphere now and get that matched up. So, I mean, there you go. That's kind of similar. Again, it's not 100% perfect because obviously they work in slightly different ways with regards to the sync. I'm not 100% sure whether this sync here, because we've set the LFO modulation and we've created a mount, in this case 70 sort of 75% roughly. I would presume that it goes both sides of the filter cutoff, so it opens up and closes rather than just coming down to this point. Now, I'm guessing on that. Obviously, with regards to Omnisphere, we can have it going both sides of the filter cutoff, like so, which is what it's doing now, as you can see. Or if we click that little plus, it actually only goes down to here, down to the lowest point, and opens up. So I would have said, I mean, that one actually sounds right. If I bring that down, that sounds nearer to me. But correct me if I'm wrong, obviously. but you can see that they do sound very, very similar. And I mean, the thing for me that makes Omnisphere stand out is the fact that you've got so many different waveforms, and of course you can import your own waveforms as well, which is really nice. Hopefully something like this in Retrologue 2 will come along later. Obviously we're quite limited with the waveform so far, you know, sine, triangle, square, saw, and obviously we've got the multi, and now we've got the new sync, cross mod and XOR, which is really, really nice to get some real nasty, gritty sounds. I'm guessing we could actually sample those waveforms from Retrologue and put them into Omnisphere, so you're using the exact same waveforms, which would be nice. But I still think Omnisphere would just have the upper edge. Like I said, there's a lot more development gone into this, and to be honest, I love the way that Omnisphere is laid out. It's laid out really, really nice, and you've definitely got more modulation places other than Retrologue. Like I said, there's a few limitations for me. It'd be nice to be able to, like I say, modulate the fine tune, which I don't believe you can do. And all in all, you know, the ARP as well. Let's have a quick look at these comparison wise without going into it. You've got 32 notes again, which is the same. You can manipulate the notes very, 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 very similar, which is nice in Omnisphere. You can see there, like Retrologue, you can drag the notes and make them thinner, more like a gate time. You can adjust the volume of each note, and let me just move that out. There you can see we can adjust the sort of gate time, and again adjust the volume of each note, and we can determine the pitch. Same as here, we can determine the pitch, and you've got different trigger modes. Again, same in Retrologue 2. I would probably think that they've got a few of their cues from different sims, probably including the likes of Omnisphere, and you've got different phrases. You can move it, you can just shift your pattern left and right, which is nice. You can reverse your pattern completely and duplicate phrase, and you've got your different octaves here. Have we got octaves? Oh, it said you can go up and down 3 octaves there. Yeah, so pretty similar. The difference I would have said is you've got these different modulation parameters here, which I don't believe Omnisphere has. It is just an arpeggio section. So yeah, you know, there is benefits to both, I would have said. Maybe Omnisphere at some point would do something very similar to this. One thing you do have is the speed control. You've got length of the notes, and you've got swing. Again, we've got sort of gate scale here, which is similar obviously to length notes, and we've also got swing. And yeah, I've got velocity scale there, and octaves. You have got octaves there, look. So very, very similar in that respect. But sound wise, for me so far, definitely Omnisphere would win this battle as far as I'm concerned. But for money, obviously Omnisphere is an additional cost, whereas Retrologue 2 does come with Cubase 8, or Cubase 8.5 I should say. So that for me wins hands down. You know, the fact is you don't have to go out and buy necessarily a third-party plugin when you've actually got a really, really powerful synth within Cubase. Yeah, they've both got benefits, they've both got pluses, and if I had a choice, which would I have? If money was an option, or lack of money was an option, then to be honest, I'd stick with Retrologue. If I had money to spend and I was going to buy VST, I would always recommend Omnisphere anyway, mainly because it's got so much that comes with it. The banks are huge, the sounds are huge. As an all-round VST, it makes everything from really natural bass sounds or pianos right through to just killer dubstep sounds or trance leads. You know, as a VST instrument, Omnisphere is definitely value for money without doubt. So yeah, hope you found this useful, and don't forget, as per usual, please subscribe to my channel, and until next time, thank you very much, and thanks to David Allen. Till then, bye bye.